All right. Well, before we get into it, I have a story to tell you.
Is this a on-air story?
This is an on-air story.
All right, let's hear it.
So my dad, 2 years ago for Christmas, bought me a used iPhone, as a gift. But it was from America. It was an iPhone 5S, which was really nice. I mean, he didn't have to do it, and I appreciated it.
Right.
But it was locked, so I couldn't use it here ever. And, so I used it for apps and like music and podcasts and stuff like that, but I always had a second phone that I'd use for phone calls. And slowly over the last 2 years, my iPhone, from being dropped and just getting older, and like the camera broke, the screen was all cracked, and it was just like the battery lasted for about 10 minutes. It was tough.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was pretty ready to just give it up, and I was like done with it. And, I went to go see a movie. I went to go see The Foreigner, that I'm actually supposed to be going on another podcast, In Session Films, to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like 10 minutes to kill, and I was walking around the grocery store where the movie theater is in town.
Yeah.
And, there was a puddle on the ground that I didn't see. There were no signs. And I stepped in it, and I slipped, and I fell right into the puddle. The puddle it was big. It was probably like,
nice.
it was probably like an inch deep, and, going long, or the width of it was probably like 5 feet. And then it went down the whole store about 45 feet. So it was like it was like a river of,
Did you not see the creek bed?
Well, cause it was all white tile and it was just water on tile. Like, how was I supposed to see that? The problem is, so in Thailand, we have rainy season, and it will rain for about 6 months out of the year. Then the ground gets saturated and everything rises, right? All the water rises. Well, it affects septic tanks as well. And this water was, septic tank water that came out of their drain and flooded their entire store. And so when I stood up, I smelled like a septic tank. I was covered in
public bathroom septic tank.
yeah. I was just covered, like my whole back half was soaked in this disgustingness. And I was like, well, this is awful. So I was like, I can't go see the movie like this. So I left.
Did you land on your back?
I went down on my side. Like I was sliding for second base, and, and I like rolled. So I went down on my right side. I rolled to my left side to get back up.
Yeah.
Just instinctively. Like I wasn't thinking about what I was in. I didn't even realize, cause I just stepped in and I just went straight down, And it wasn't until I got up that I realized what it was. And so I was like, I just got in my car and I went back home and took a shower and everything. But the next morning I went to use my phone and the speakers were just shot. They didn't work. Yeah. And it was just, I was like, this isn't okay. And I was already upset about rolling around in septic water. So I went back and I talked to the manager, and, they're like, well, we'll replace your speakers, but it's going to take about a month and a half.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, well, that's not really enough, like, you guys should probably do more than that. Like a month and a half, that's a long time for me to have to wait for you guys to replace something that shouldn't have never happened.
Right.
And then so they're like, well, maybe we can get it repaired by tomorrow. I was like, but you're going to take it to a technician in town who doesn't know what they're doing and is going to use different parts, and it's going to be in worse shape having just a guy in town do it than if you were to send it to Apple. They're like, well, a Thai person would just say it was okay. They would just move on. Like we would apologize, and the Thai person was like, oh, it's okay. It's no problem. I was like, okay, let me pour a bucket of sewage water on your head and see if me saying sorry is enough for you. And the manager's like, no, you're right. Okay. And so they bought me a new iPhone to, apologize. Yeah. Well, it's a 5S. They bought me a new 5S. So it's, a few generations behind, but still it's a new iPhone. So I was like,
not too bad.
Not quite worth rolling around in other people's feces water. But
No?
if I have to do it, I don't mind getting an iPad or an iPhone out of it. So
Well, now you know where to go when you have something broken. Take it to the store, take a little slip.
that's my new upgrade policy plan.
Yeah. You straight told the guy dump a bucket of sewage water on his head.
Yeah, I was like, how would you feel if that happened to you? Like, that would not be enough for me to just say sorry and you'd be okay with it. It seemed perfectly reasonable at the time. I didn't threaten him that I was gonna do it. I just asked him, hypothetically, if I did it, would you be okay if I just said sorry?
Why didn't you say anything when it happened?
Because I was covered in crap water. I just
Exactly. You don't think they'd have been more sympathetic?
There's no way I could have stood around for 2 hours covered in other people's nastiness.
Oh, man. So did you even get to see the movie?
I went back the next day. I saw the movie.
You tell them to pay for your movie, too.
I should have.
Like, it's the movie because you got my ticket wet.
But the movie was pretty cheap. Movies are like $2 here, so I was like, it's not worth it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it'll be funnier in the future, I think. But right now, it's still kind of.
No, don't worry. It's pretty funny now.
Oh man.
Did anybody in the store see you fall?
Yeah, there was like a group of teenagers.
It's embarrassing. And teenagers.
There's like 5 teenagers that were just staring at me. They're like, so I was walking next to them and they stopped like right in front of me. So I stepped around them because I mean, it's a pretty normal thing for people just to stop walking here. There's not like a flow of traffic. I
think that you made some comment at him like, get out of the way, stupid kids. What?
Yeah, so they stopped in front of me. I stepped around them right into the puddle because they stopped right before it. And so I stepped around them and just went right down. And they were just looking at me and they're like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I was standing there like dripping in it. And it was in the food court. And one of the food court workers looked at me and handed me 2 napkins. And I was like, this, thanks, but that's not really enough.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I have a movie that was actually recommended to me by Quinn.
All right. What you got?
Let's see. As a part of his first date with his eventual wife, Judd Apatow tried to impress Leslie Mann by showing her this film.
Is it one of his, go on.
As the kids are getting off the Camp Hope bus when first arriving, you can see the max capacity is 25. The 25 is scratched over and the 23 is written above it.
Is it Wet Hot American Summer?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
I give up. That's the only thing it could have been.
Similar to his character in this movie, Ben Stiller.
Heavyweights.
Yes.
That was my second guess. I almost went with that one.
I like how you give up and you're like, I had another guess.
Heavyweights. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny. It's about, these overweight kids who go to fat camp. And was it to lose weight? It wasn't to lose weight originally, right?
I think so.
It was like, maybe it was vaguely to lose weight, but the original owners of the camp, I don't think did anything.
They weren't serious about losing weight, but that's what their parents think is happening.
But
I always thought it was funny that Ben Stiller is pretty much his same character from Dodgeball.
Well, that was the trivia. That was the trivia I was just about to say, was that he plays another health obsessed nut.
But he's like the same dude.
Yeah. I in my head, I like to think that it is the same guy.
I'm trying to remember his name. It was something Perkins. Tony Perkins. No. Was it Tony Perkins?
In
Tony Perkins.
Heavyweights?
In Heavyweights. Yeah.
Let me see. I hate when
Tony
they don't.
Perkins. That name always stood out.
Yeah, Tony Perkins.
Tony Perkins. Yeah. This is probably one of my earliest Ben Stiller memories.
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it's been so long, and I remember loving this movie. But I couldn't really tell you much about it. I know it had Kenan Thompson, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And there was another dude from the Mighty Ducks. I don't know his name. He was in it too.
Yeah. But yeah, so all these fat kids go to fat camp, and
Yeah.
the kid gets sold on it by how great it is, how they have the blob, how they play baseball and go-karts and all this different stuff. When he shows up, the camp has been sold to Ben Stiller because they were all broke. And so Ben Stiller comes in, and he is like a super health nut and is like, all right, we're going to really whip you guys into shape, and, you know, you guys are going to lose weight and enjoy fitness. And thinking back on it, I haven't watched this movie for a long time, but was Ben Stiller really a bad guy?
I mean, he was just kind of mean to kids, I think.
Was he?
I think he had their best interests at heart.
Because I know he made them miserable, but he was doing it in the idea of helping them to lose weight. Like
I don't know. I haven't seen it
Yeah.
since I was a kid. So as a kid, he's the villain, but maybe he's probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. The one thing I do remember was something about him doing pull-ups on a tree overhanging a cliff, and he was like telling other kids to do it, and everyone was like freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I need to rewatch this because I don't remember it well enough to know if he was really that bad of a guy.
I bet he wasn't. And it was his dad was in this movie, right? He was the original camp owner.
Yeah. His real life dad was the original.
Yeah, his real life dad. When I saw it, I was just like, oh, that's George Costanza's dad. The main things that I remember about this movie was, I remember there was a counselor who, I guess in the story, he used to be fat, and then now he like lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
And they had some like nickname, some ironic nickname for him. I don't remember, like Jumbo or something stupid. And then I remember the one kid had like a candy stash, and he'd open up like a candy store every night.
Yeah.
And sell to all the kids. And I don't remember a whole lot. That's kind of it.
Yeah. No, it's a fun movie, but there's not a lot. It's not really pushing the boundaries of filmmaking anywhere. You know, it's definitely a kid's movie.
Is it a prequel to Dodgeball?
Not officially, I don't think.
No, it's official.
What is his name in Dodgeball?
White Goodman.
Yeah, so he's...
Yeah, he changed his name.
Oh, is that all?
One of those is not a real name. White Goodman, come on.
Oh, well, I don't really have anything else to say about Heavyweights, but do you have another movie you would like to see?
I do, and I even made a list.
Nice.
So the first one I got here on my list, I'm gonna say, I've never seen the movie Leon, the Professional.
Oh, really? That's a great movie.
That's what I've heard. I've just not gotten around to it.
It's got Natalie Portman as like a 12 or 8-year-old, 10-year-old, something like that.
Yeah.
And they have a weird relationship in it. But if you can get past that, it's pretty good.
Yeah. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's...
Other than that,
yeah,
I want to see it. I just haven't.
It is a good one.
Yeah. That's where I'm at with that.
So, if you like this podcast, if you want to get a hold of us, you can reach us over on Twitter at IcingThatPod. You can get a hold of me directly at AlanRJR.
Oh, yeah. And I'm at Taylor Enixon.
And if you want to help support the show, you can go over to Patreon. For $1, you can vote for Taylor or I to help us decide who is a better person. And we also have other options and stuff you can check out.
Unofficially, it seems like I am the better person at this point.
Well, at this point is 2 months in the future, so we don't really know what's going on.
Well, then it is official.